Previously on ACE Podcast Nation.
Before you end the show, one last thing.
Man.
That's what I do.
You're a bad man. You're a bad man.
I got the book, brother.
In a weekend or in a week where AEW cemented Hangman Page as their future and current one of their top stars. They cemented Darby Allin as a star. They cemented Orange Cassidy as a star. MJF as a star, current and future. The WWE single-handedly pissed all over Bray Wyatt's gimmick again, and pissed all over Ricochet again. Let's get into it. I'm Sai. Welcome to ACE Podcast Nation. I'm joined by Mr. Andrew Thompson. As you know, we have podcasts on all sorts of stuff, different subjects. But we're going to talk wrestling today. We're going to talk about WWE Super Showdown very, very briefly. And then we're going to just talk about AEW Revolution because that was actually good. How are you, my friend? You okay?
Yeah, I'm doing well, man. I made sure I got up extra early for the side guy so we can do the podcast. Got a busy day today, sir. We doing some interviews and
for Andrew today.
No picture for Andrew today. But
He's still in his pajamas.
doing some interviews today, so that's gonna be cool. And we about to do this great podcast on the ACE Podcast Nation. That's doing some good numbers, sir. I'm very proud of your success. Congratulations.
Thank you,
ups.
Man. It's good. It's
it's
really weird. It's like I do shows on all different stuff. Some shows do really good on YouTube, and then some shows don't do good on YouTube. But the ones that don't do good on YouTube do really good on the audio downloads. There doesn't seem to be any reason either way.
What's the ratings for our show?
We do really good for the audio downloads on this one. Real good. Which I'm happy with that. Like, as long as one of the others doing good, I'm always happy. And obviously sometimes we don't have video for our show as well, but I always chuck it up on YouTube as well, just in case, just get those extra couple of views, find some new eyes and ears of people.
Yeah,
gotta find these people. But I think we're up to like 600, coming up to 650 subscribers on YouTube.
Oh, that's great, man. Congratulations.
Getting there. That's the hardest thing, I think, is getting people
to subscribe. Man, I'm telling you, I'm trying to get I'm like 27 away from 100 on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. Like it went up pretty fast considering like I consistently started uploading content like 3 months ago. So I think that's a like good progression, but it's hard getting subs, man. So I mean, hopefully I can get that 27 like before the end of March.
It's hard, it is, because like for instance, this football show, which I now do live on a Monday night, does like every week. It does about a total of about 3,000 views and listens on like between YouTube, Facebook, and audio downloads.
The one with Andy Campbell, right?
Yeah. So they do it does that every week, but you can't like all those like on Facebook who've got like 9,000 followers, but they don't seem to. It's difficult to get people to subscribe to YouTube because I think maybe 2 years ago more people were using YouTube on a regular basis. I feel like now people use other stuff more. They use like Facebook more because as soon as I started doing it live and we put it on Facebook as well, everything went up again. So I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I'm nearly 40, so maybe I'm not the best judge of what people are using anymore. I'm getting old, so I'm out of touch. But a young whippersnapper like yourself, you're the man. You're the man with a plan. You know what the young people are using these days.
I am the youth. I am the
The
youth.
youth. The youth.
You
What
represent the youth.
WWE does not have is youth.
No, they got plenty of youth actually.
Well,
they just
and do you know what?
They
Do you know what?
youth.
They're all sat in catering. Do you know what? It wasn't even just what they did to Ricochet and the Fiend. I was just about to say they put a 50-year-old Goldberg over the Fiend, and then I thought, oh shit, they put a 60-year-old Undertaker over AJ Styles as well in 15 seconds.
Just real quick, I think that was really stupid. Like I don't, you know me, so I don't really complain about nothing. Now, I just watch everything and just try to enjoy it for what it is. But that was like you telling me there's not any way that you could have got to this match than Undertaker squashing this man. Like AJ didn't even have a hard fought match, and I thought it was stupid for AJ to win a battle royal anyway. I thought they would make R-Truth win it since his documentary was going to air right after the show. That'd have been a good way to promote R-Truth. Like,
well, for instance, they could have had the Undertaker cost AJ the match because AJ mentioned him the other day in a promo. There you go. Undertaker didn't like it. He costs him the match. Or you could have just had AJ when he faces Aleister Black on Raw. As Aleister Black's about to win the match, you have the club jump in so he doesn't lose the match, beat down Aleister Black, and then the following week they do the same again, and you have the Undertaker make the save. There's so many different ways they could have gone.
You want to know what I think they're gonna do?
They could have just had the Undertaker attack him and not have a match, but he squashed AJ Styles in a minute. So why do I want to see that match now?
You want to know what I think they're gonna do? I don't even think it's gonna be Undertaker versus AJ Styles. I think they're gonna do a tag match, a handicap tag match at WrestleMania, and I would honestly prefer that because I don't think people. I think people are going to expect too much out of AJ Styles, and that's not fair. Like for him to bring,
think even he can carry the Undertaker.
I don't think it's gonna happen. Like I don't think he can bring that match out of Under. Like I think that's good that people think of AJ Styles like that. But come on, bro. Like that you asking a lot, especially right now. Like at Undertaker stage, man. Like you asking way too much. Like I think the tag match is a good idea. Have Undertaker and Aleister Black do that. Aleister Black can carry the load. AJ and the OC, I'm pretty sure they can do a good one, and then you bring in Undertaker for the good stuff, like how he did with
tag.
Yeah, you do it. How you did it at what was that Extreme Rules 2019 when he teamed with Roman, like that was perfect. Yeah. Roman Carey had the load, and then when it was time for the last 10 minutes, that last 10-minute, 15-minute stretch, bringing the Undertaker, crowd was hot, match went good, get out of there. That simple. But that was stupid to pin AJ, like real stupid. Now because it just made AJ.
Yeah, there was no need for it. They could have done. They could have had AJ win the trophy because the Undertaker, right? I'd understand, but the Undertaker did not give a shit about that trophy. He didn't take it with him. He didn't even look at it. He didn't touch it. So you may as well have had the AJ Styles win it. He could have used it like the OC used the tag one as like a gimmick to say how good he is as a heel. And just had the Undertaker attack him or have him win the trophy, cut a promo about how good he is. No one can beat me, blah, 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 blah. Undertaker attacks him. Or he comes out and has a face off to tease it. I got no interest in seeing that now. Ricochet, I think they really dropped the ball with Ricochet and Brock Lesnar. Now, I wasn't angry because I thought Ricochet was going to win. Ricochet is never going to win because they're building Brock Lesnar versus Drew McIntyre. So I wasn't about that. It was about the fact that Brock Lesnar's proven that he can have really good matches with small guys, with high-flying guys. He could have done some amazing stuff with Ricochet, like some really, really cool stuff with Ricochet. Made Ricochet look like $1 million. And then beating him in 5 minutes. But they just did nothing. It was just bang, 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 gone. There you go. Ricochet's a jobber. that's him done. And it's like Brock Lesnar at some point in the next few years is going to be done, and they just keep killing guys by having people like Lesnar and Undertaker and Goldberg just beat them and just squash them. 3 of them lost in under 8 minutes. 3 of them, probably a combined 10 minutes between the 3 matches. They've built up the Fiend for the best part of a year, where he's beaten everyone. No one can finish him. So whoever was going to beat him, it was going to be like a big rub, whether it was going to be Roman, whether it was going to be Cena, whether it was going to be whoever. But to give it to Goldberg in that way is just bullshit. No one wanted that. And I get the reasons why. The reasons why being that they didn't want Roman Reigns to get booed when he beat the Fiend at Mania. But here's an idea. Roman Reigns didn't have to beat the Fiend at Mania. You could have actually let Bray Wyatt win a WrestleMania match. You could have done Cena versus Bray Wyatt for the title.
He is going to win. I think he's going to win. I think he's going to beat Cena.
Wouldn't surprise me if he doesn't, mate.
To
be honest.
I genuinely don't see John Cena coming back and be like, oh, yeah, put me over Bray Wyatt. I really think the only reason he probably came back and did this is because he wants to have Bray Wyatt. Like, I don't think Cena
he killed Bray Wyatt in the first place.
I mean, but he was still active.
The original gimmick.
I mean, yeah, he kind of took some heat off Bray Wyatt, but he was still a consistent member on the roster. He wasn't like a part-timer. He was there.
No.
He was there. You know what I'm saying? So like, but this time I don't like, just from how he talks in his interviews and just how he speaks about the current product and knowing how much pull he has, I really don't see John Cena beating him. I think he's going to go there and he's going to lose, and he wants to put over Bray Wyatt. And I think they're going to tell him.
I hope so.
Like, over these next couple of weeks, they're going to tell one of the best stories, considering that
they could tell an amazing story.
Like it's already, the writing is already on the wall. Like they have the history, they have the background. Like even like with the AJ Undertaker thing, like, and I don't even think WWE remember this, but they could easily turn back and be like, that time during the 2016 Survivor Series when Undertaker confronted AJ and was like, if Team SmackDown loses, then the leader of the group is going to have to answer to me, and you can always rewind back to that. I mean, even though I think it was 4 years too late, but they should have did that at Royal Rumble 2017. That should have been a main event instead of AJ versus Cena. But I digress.
Yeah, so even though we understand the reasons why the Fiend lost to Goldberg to a shitty jackhammer, which wasn't even a jackhammer, it was more like a suplex. When you look over at what AEW have done over the last couple of months, but particularly what they did on Saturday and how they built several new stars. It wasn't about building the Young Bucks or Kenny Omega or Jericho or even John Moxley. It was about, they built Orange Cassidy's now a superstar. MJF got a massive win and he's now a superstar. You've got Hangman is like just awesome. Darby Allin. And then you look at what they're doing and then you look at what WWE is doing, and it's just so frustrating because WWE is legitimately on their roster of Raw, SmackDown, and NXT. I've got some of the best workers in the world, some of the best young workers in the world as well, or young enough that they could build a company around them for 10 years. Bray Wyatt's one of those guys because he's so creative and he's so clever, and they have just dropped the ball massively with the Fiend. It's just disappointing.
I think that's going to be a big thing for WWE in the future. It's gonna be rough, man, because they like when you not building for the future, it's gonna be rough when you gonna need those guys and nobody give a damn. Like even with Braun Strowman, like I said this when I tweeted this out, I was like you keep beating this dude that he lost 5 championship matches to Brock Lesnar like within the span of like a year. So like nobody. Well, that's why nobody cares anymore about Braun Strowman. Like,
look at the heat he gets now, and look at the heat he was getting versus Roman.
No, like exactly.
Sky. There's a massive difference. It's like for the casual viewer, which Vince McMahon is so desperate to attract. Why would any of them give a shit about the Fiends now? They wouldn't, because Goldberg beat him in 3 minutes. What? So really, like, why would they care? I'm sure John Cena will do a great job of making people care, but they shouldn't be in that position. They booked themselves into a corner. I get why they did it, but it was just stupid. It was stupid because he was the one gimmick which they've protect him and Drew McIntyre are the only two people that have been, and Aleister Black have been constantly protected on Raw and SmackDown, where they just haven't lost for however many months. They just haven't lost, or they haven't lost at all in some cases. And then I just think, well, what they'll do now is they'll have AJ Styles beat Aleister Black to build him up for the Undertaker. So that'll be Aleister Black's protection and momentum gone. And then Brock Lesnar will beat Drew McIntyre at WrestleMania, and then, well, there we go. No one's left. Everyone
just where you really think Brock Lesnar gonna be? Like, come on now, bro.
No, but I don't.
He is not gonna be Drew. He is not gonna be him.
I think it would be ridiculous if any of those things happen, which I just said. But I wouldn't be massively like, oh my God, if they did, because I expect it from them. They just constantly, and this is the problem when you've got a 70-year-old man who's in charge of creative of your product, because he's not in touch with what I want, and I'm 40, let alone what a 20-year-old wants, 25-year-old wants. It's embarrassing. Like, it's getting worse.
But just for the sake of argument, like, why are y'all so surprised by how they do
I
other people?
Surprised.
No. But
I
mean, like, I see the majority of people are like surprised that, like, you surprised by the Undertaker stuff and all that, but like weren't but like they weren't surprised, I guess, by the Undertaker stuff, but like we're super surprised by like Goldberg. I'm like, that was like the most obvious thing to me. Like, going into that show, even like weeks out when they first announced it, I was like, that's what they're gonna do, the switch. Like, that is gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, I was expecting. It was just like just expecting that to happen. But I mean, like, at the same time, like, it, like, I still think it was stupid to get rid of like all of Bray Wyatt's like momentum like that. But at the same time, like, when I watched SmackDown, like, I was like, oh man, it's about to be so bad. Like, they not even gonna react to Bray Wyatt. It's gonna be horrible whenever he comes out. But then when they did the segment with Cena, people was going crazy. Like, that was the loudest pop of the night. And like, even though it's not what.
Do you think that was like people showing their support for Bray Wyatt as well? I know it was like Cena as well, but do you think that people were so annoyed with the Goldberg thing because Goldberg got booed out of the building, really? So that's not just the hardcore, or there wasn't like a mixed reaction. He got booed, which makes me think that maybe did people cheer more for Bray Wyatt to show that they kind of support him? Do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just more so had to do with people just being excited for the matchup. Like,
yeah, people like Fiend as well. There's the other thing.
People were excited to see. I think it was just a combination of John Cena coming back, and then people just being excited to see the Fiend versus Cena because they know the history between the two, and I think it's gonna be a good story. But like, that's what, like, when I first saw the light shut up, I was like, I wonder how people gonna react, because I was like, he literally just lost. But people, like, you saw how they reacted. That was the biggest pop of the night. So obviously people don't give a shit. I mean, they give a shit, but like, I mean, the way they reacted, it was like, it was good.
One of the funniest tweets I saw about it all was that someone said they should open SmackDown with a Firefly Funhouse where Bray Wyatt's asleep in bed, and they do they show the finish of the Goldberg match, and then he wakes up in bed and goes, "Oh, thank God it was all just a dream, and then just like completely just made Saudi Arabia not canon and just ignored it. That would have been the greatest thing ever, just for my own personal fandom. But look, I was more surprised with what they did with the Undertaker and AJ Styles than I was surprised with what they did with Bray Wyatt and Ricochet. Like Ricochet, I was frustrated because it didn't need to be like 25 minutes long.
WWE doing us, they doing us dirty on Black History Month. I don't appreciate it. The disrespect.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
Well, we done took hella L's in Black History Month. I don't know what the hell was going on. They gave us all type of video packages and highlight packages. We couldn't win a goddamn match. I'm like, Jesus Christ, like y'all, what the hell is going on?
It's strange, like, because I think didn't I read somewhere that there was like something like 9-1 or something like that for like people of color throughout the whole of Black History Month, and I was just like, so weird when they focus so heavily on the like promotional aspect of it with the video packages or the social media posts, and then they just do them all dirty. Like they just, and I tell you what, the only one thing I will say about SmackDown, just briefly before we go into AEW, is the way they've booked Naomi since she came back is weird. Like, I think they're going towards Naomi and Bailey at Mania. I
don't know what the hell they doing.
But like they keep having her lose, so it's like, and then like she's losing clean, so she's not like when like she had the match with Carmella, she lost clean for a title shot, and then it makes no sense. So I don't know whether they were waiting to see if Sasha can go, and then they want to do Bailey versus Sasha. I'd rather have seen Naomi beat Bailey in Saudi Arabia, and I'd quite like to see a triple threat TLC match between Sasha and Bailey, the Kabuki Warriors, and Beth Phoenix and Natalia. I quite like that, but that's just me.
Yeah, I don't know what they doing with Naomi is. I don't know. Like it's weird. Like I think that just also has to do with I don't know who's in the creator room, so I'm not going to assume on that, but I'm gonna assume anyway that there's not many African Americans in the creative room. So I feel like it's difficult. Like you can't have some white dude trying to, you know what I'm saying? Because like you just don't get it. Like it's hard for you to relate and portray this character that I don't even think it's a character. I think Naomi just being herself. But like it's hard. It's gonna be hard for you to be like you this 30-something-year-old white man trying to write a story for a young African American woman. There's no, like, I don't care how open-minded you are. You just don't understand, man. Like it's different. Like even if for a black male, I think it would be more suited for a fellow African American woman to be like of assistance to Naomi in that situation. But like that,
I don't think there's many women in the creative team either.
Yeah, that too. But I just think it's like an overall just lack of diversity problem when it comes to booking black characters. They just don't, like, you just can't understand or relate in some ways. Like you can understand on a human level, but like I think it's hard for them to like piece that together. Just as you got a bunch of white dudes in a room.
Go back to something which I said a minute ago about Vince McMahon being 70, so he can't relate. He can't relate to people my age.
Yeah.
It's a similar thing in that if a 70-year-old man can't relate to like a mid-30s 30-year-old white character, he's certainly going to struggle to relate to a mid-30s black female or black male.
Yeah.
And the problem is in that creative room, they have little to no female influence for those female characters, and that comes across a lot during the promos and the way the stories are written, because they're written from a male point of view.
Yeah, the last time I heard of a woman in a were created, I think it was Dana Warrior.
Sarah Del Rey
Sarah,
was
I
she
think
in
she's in
NXT?
NXT. Yeah, but I think on the on Raw and SmackDown, last name I heard was Dana Warrior, but I don't know if she's still in that position. But I mean,
And even
obviously,
she's not
I
she's
don't.
never been a worker, is she? Like to understand that aspect of it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But before,
WWE they got to sort this shit out, mate, because AEW is on fire. NXT is cooled off a bit the last 2 weeks. Hasn't been as good. They need other than like Raw has been very, very good.
I gotta watch.
SmackDown has been dog shit for at least 3 months.
I gotta watch this past Wednesday's episode of NXT. I ain't get into it.
The last two
I
I
saw
think have been not good.
I saw the tweet they put out about Bianca Belair losing Queen. Was not happy about that at all.
Well, she's got Braun Strowman syndrome now. Is that
Yeah.
if you keep beating her, what's the point?
That's my comparison. That's my comparison, man.
That is your comparison, and I stole it. I have no shame.
I respect
I stole it.
Just make sure you credit me.
Nah, I stole it. I'm gonna go all ringside news and just steal everyone's ideas and work.
So before we get to
the positive stuff,
AEW Revolution, let's go ahead and make these match predictions, sir, for the Elimination Chamber, which is on Sunday, Sunday coming up. So we got the Elimination Chamber match. Winner gets a shot at the Raw Women's Championship. We got Natalya, Liv Morgan, Shayna Baszler, Asuka, Ruby Riott, and Sarah Logan. I think it is very obvious that we're going to get Shayna versus Becky.
I think they're going to swerve this particular aspect of the story. I think they will have Natalya win.
Whoa.
Or who else is there in there in a babyface?
Liv Morgan, I guess.
Liv Morgan. I mean, maybe. I
Asuka.
don't think. Nah, she's a babyface, but she's not a babyface, isn't she? I think Natalya will win, and then I think Shayna Baszler will injure her on the Raw after, to the point where Natalya wants a match, and Shayna Baszler will say, "I'll only fight you if you put your number one contender match up for grabs," and then she'll beat her for it, and then after Shayna's beaten her to become the number one contender, she'll keep the Kirifuda clutch on her, and kind of leave her in a pile on the floor, and then Asuka and Kairi Sane will come out and pick the bones, and then Beth Phoenix will make the save to set up the tag match. That's my booking for that particular scenario.
Yeah, I think they probably just gonna go to less is more. Don't make it difficult. Just like even though like I think it's kind of stupid that you like main like already placing Shayna in that position and then you want to go and do an elimination chamber. Like, bro, just do the match. Like you could have saved this. Like,
yeah, they could have. Why didn't they do a female tag team elimination chamber instead?
You want to know
Shayna?
You want to know something that would have been so easy, like an easy way, like and like think about this. Even for like, and they could do this with the SmackDown side now that they just got straight to Roman versus Goldberg, which I appreciate. I'm glad they didn't do the whole you got to fight through the elimination chamber thing. Like I cannot stand like bro. We know where y'all going. Just announce it and just get to it. Like I'm glad they did that. So just get it out the way. But now they can still do the SmackDown elimination chamber match. You have Roman beat Goldberg at WrestleMania, and you do the SmackDown men's chamber match. And you set that up as the person gets the shot after WrestleMania is your number one contender. So that way you have something coming out of WrestleMania. You had that dead period until the Extreme Rules. Like it's simple.
I read something weird. I can't remember where I read it. I might try and find it in a minute. That they're going to go back to the Fiend versus Roman Reigns after Mania.
Yeah, I mean that's an obvious choice. Because he's going to beat John Cena.
Yeah, but you don't want to do that because then you got to have the Fiend lose again to Roman Reigns, and you have the same problem whereby you risk Roman getting booed, especially if the Fiend is hot after beating John Cena. So to me, that makes no sense.
I mean, if they beat him, then that's stupid. But I don't know what the hell they gonna
But
do.
I would
They
say
probably gonna do that stupid thing they did with Seth Rollins.
I would say, I would save the Fiend versus Roman Reigns until they're ready to take the title off Roman Reigns, and I would save it. I would keep it in your back pocket because that isn't like the John Cena story. There's so much that you can tell with the Fiend going back for Roman Reigns, the anyone but you stuff, all the stuff they did with his daughter, the different aspects of that. They could go back to that and they could do some really good stuff. But what hurt Bray Wyatt when he was the original, like the cult leader, was that every time he had a master plan or every time he was come up with like this big idea to go after someone, he would end up losing the feud, and then that would harm him. So if he's gonna beat John Cena, you've got to capitalize on that by having him go and beat someone, whether it's beat Braun Strowman for the Intercontinental title, I don't know, whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be for a title, but keep him winning until maybe SummerSlam or till Royal Rumble next year, where when you're ready to have Roman drop the title, have it be to the Fiend who's been rebuilt throughout the year. Don't go back to it now in March and beat the Fiend again so soon. After he's lost to Goldberg, and two after he's beaten John Cena. But that's just me. That's just my opinion, bro.
You want to know what I think? I think a good it would be different if the Fiend were to be able to turn Roman heel. I think that'd be a cool element. Like, because as everybody he's faced, he's no. If
I got something
everybody
in my notes about this. Go on, you finish.
Everybody he's faced, everybody he's faced, he turned him heel, like essentially. So I think it would be cool if he was able to slow burn, build that side of Roman Reigns and
Yeah.
But I don't think it's gonna happen. I think Roman is that's their guy, and they want he does all the all the media stuff and all that jazz. Yeah. So I don't really think that's gonna happen, but it would be cool if that I would really like to see that. Like if they were able to switch that and make Roman a heel, and then I think that would be some of his best work, like as a heel working with top baby faces if they build top baby faces the right way.
Okay, here's an image for you. See if you like this. WrestleMania, somewhere in the middle of the card, the Fiend beats John Cena. Yeah. Last match, Goldberg, or one of the last matches. Last match, Goldberg versus Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns wins, finishing WrestleMania, the title above his head. John Cena's music hits, and he goes Hollywood Hogan and just destroys Roman Reigns with a chair or whatever. Okay.
We shall not mention him on this podcast.
The mainstream. Yeah, I do apologize. I realized after I said his name. He goes all NWO. The mainstream press picking up on a heel John Cena decimating and leaving Roman Reigns in a bloody mess on the floor, like doing something really heinous, like putting his neck in a chair, something like that. Would be the hottest thing in wrestling. John Cena as a heel or Roman Reigns as a heel would be the two hottest things that the WWE could do at the moment in terms of worldwide get people tuning in, because people would tune in to see a heel John Cena, or people would tune in to see a heel Roman Reigns because people have wanted it for so long. You'd have all the lapsed fans come back, even if it's just for a few weeks, to see. What do you think about that? Or even if they didn't do it, at the end of WrestleMania, if they did it on like the Raw after Mania or the SmackDown after Mania, where John Cena turns heel, what do you think? You down for heel John Cena for a short run? Just for like a 3-month heel run, straight after Mania.
Further, you tripping if you think Cena gonna be around for 3 months. That man is that man
He's gonna
busy.
be out there,
That
though.
man busy, man. That's a Cena working in Hollywood. He doing a lot of stuff in movies, bro. Like he busy as hell. I don't
But
really
wouldn't it
think.
be disappointing if he's the only one who doesn't turn heel, who's faced the
Yeah,
Fiend?
yeah. But I mean, at the same time, you can kind of understand because he's not. You know what I'm saying?
Because Goldberg's heel now, so Goldberg's turned heel after facing the Fiend.
I don't really
So-
think. I don't really think. I think people just can't stand him.
but in my eyes, he's a heel. He's the
Yeah.
biggest heel of all.
I see it, but I don't think WWE views him as a heel in the slightest. I just think that people cannot stand the fact that he beat the Fiend. So it's like we
WWE
gonna
doesn't
boo
know
him.
what they're doing.
They don't view Goldberg as a heel. They just see this as, you know.
And plus, the Fiend didn't win, did he? So technically, he doesn't fit into the all the people who turned heel. The Fiend.
No. It worked with Seth Rollins. Remember when they did that finish?
The Fiend beat Seth Rollins, didn't he?
No, not at Hell in a Cell.
Hmm.
That was when that thing started to happen, when he started to, you know.
Oh, they had no contest in a Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, that was
WWE booking at its finest. Okay,
so
I've got to get some positivity in my life now, mate, because WWE has killed all my happiness.
I say, hold on. They got
Oh yeah, do the rest of the predictions. Sorry, my friend.
No, you good. All over the place. They got the 3-on-1 handicap match for the Intercontinental title. They got Strowman versus Nakamura versus Zayn versus Cesaro.
Stupid. Why don't they just do it as a 4-way?
That would be smarter, but I think they just want. Well, I mean, you could easily do a 4-way and get the title off Strowman, but it's gonna be interesting. Like I think they probably. You want to know what I really want to see? Like if they do like a 5-pack, like it would be Shinsuke, Cesaro, Zayn, Daniel Bryan, and Drew Gulak for the Intercontinental title. You do like a 5-pack of WrestleMania. I think that'd be cool. That'd be a good wrestling match. And then they come down to like wrap it back up to like Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak, get them like 10 minutes, 15 minutes to do what they do. And then
do you think they might do a ladder match though of that? Eight-person ladder match with those 5.
If they do a ladder match at WrestleMania, I think it's gonna be Humberto, Rey, Andrade, and Angel Garza. I think that's gonna be the ladder match, and that match is going to slap if they do that.
They should be a stable. At least the 3 of them. Maybe not Rey.
Yeah, they should. I hope so one day.
I would love to see. They're doing a tag match tomorrow, actually, on Raw, aren't they? So by the time this goes out on Tuesday, we will know. But I think that us tonight, isn't it? I think that tonight Humberto might turn on Rey to bring that stable together.
Humberto doing the heel turn? Okay.
Yeah, have Selena have their like a little stable.
They changed his theme song, so he already the heel to me. So
yeah, bastards.
So
I think right. That's what I was going to say about that match. The one thing I don't like is handicap matches for singles titles because it's stupid. They do multi-man matches, so it's still the same advantage if they do it as a 4-way. Like they still going to team up 3-on-1. So why wouldn't you do it as a 4-way so it makes sense? Because it's not it's a handicap tag match, isn't it? Yeah, it's not an elimination match. So if Sami Zayn, for instance, makes the pin for his team, who's the champion?
Yeah, that's true. They ain't
and that's what it's dumb. Like it's stupid. They either should have done it as an elimination tag, or even that's stupid. You've got to do it as like a 4-way. They're still going to team up, and they've still got the advantage and all that. I don't see them taking the title off Braun yet, unless they are going to do the Intercontinental title match as a ladder match, because I think Braun doesn't necessarily suit a ladder match.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with Sami Zayn to pick up the victory.
and become IC champion. I think that's gonna happen too. Then lastly, that's all we got so far. We got the
Oh, there wasn't there a
elimination.
tag team elimination?
Yeah. No, that's what I was about to bring up. They got the Miz and John Morrison defending against New Day, the Usos, Heavy Machinery, Lucha House Party, and Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode. One prediction I do have for this match is that Dolph Ziggler is going to eliminate Otis. I'd put 100%,
100%.
100%, and then Otis gonna get his get back at WrestleMania. So I think that's gonna be that's what's gonna happen. But overall,
Here's a question for you. No revival. What's up with that?
they probably on their way out.
They're done.
I mean, that's what they wanted.
Yeah, I've heard they offered him ridiculous money as well.
Yeah,
it's never about the money though.
They want out, so that's what
I don't even think they necessarily wanted out. Like, I'm sure that they don't mind being on their way out. I think
they asked for their release.
No, but I know they asked for their release. But I mean, they asked for their release because they were doing nothing with the tag team division. Like, they seem to indicate all along that if WWE booked the tag team division as upper mid card main event type angles, and they made the tag team titles matter, and they made the tag teams seem like a special attraction that they should be, that they'd be happy to stay. But they didn't.
I think that's one of WWE's big problems right there. Well, if somebody don't want to be there, let them go. Like, let them go. Like, it's literally that simple. Like, I don't get why they do
especially
that.
In that situation, because it's like, if they're saying we'll stay, but you've got to do this with the tag team division. If WWE hasn't got that vision for the tag team division, then what's it matter if they go?
That's what I'm saying. But like,
you either see it as an attraction or you don't.
It's like, it's so simple. Like, if you're working with somebody and they don't want to keep working with you in both directions, why would you want to keep working with them? It's like that. Like, literally that simple. Like, if somebody like, oh, I don't want to be here, let them go. Let them go. It's literally that simple. Like, I don't like I think they're fearful of people blowing up outside of the company, because
that's gonna happen though, isn't it?
It does make them look bad partially when people go elsewhere and then they just become like mega stars. Like, it's bad. It is a bad look. I'm not gonna lie, that's a bad look. But I mean, like, I never understood the policy of keeping people locked in. Like, somebody don't want to be there, bro, let them go. Like, just let them go.
Either do something with them or let them go. That's my take on it. If you don't want someone, the thing I really hate is when they add time to people's contracts for injuries, or they got hurt working for you. If they get injured in a car crash, drink driving, or they get injured like doing surfing when they're on their off days, okay, add time. If they got injured wrestling, then piss off with your added time. That's just me though. I just think it's petty and childish, and I do wonder whether that will change if Triple H takes over, because he has released guys from NXT, and he seems like he's more focused on what they're doing rather than worrying about this, that, and the other. But who knows? Is that all the Elimination Chamber matches, bro?
The pay-per-view this Sunday, so they gonna have to piece this card together real quick.
Do you think the Fiend gets a match?
Nah.
Do you think he attacks someone?
Nah, I think they
or
just
do you think they leave him off? Unless John Cena does like a promo or something.
They're gonna have Cena on SmackDown, and then they're gonna probably continue their story. I don't think Bray Wyatt gonna be on Elimination Chamber. It would be pointless unless they gonna do something with John Cena. Like, him interacting with anybody else at this point really doesn't make any sense.
This is what they're gonna do. They're gonna set it up on Friday. It's gonna be John Cena and Bull Buchanan, B Squared.
He said B Squared. I remember B Squared
versus Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas.
Oh my goodness, B Squared. Oh my goodness, I remember him.
And what was Prince Albert's name when he was with Cena? I watched the Ruthless Aggression thing the other day.
Chris Alba was. Chris Alba was John Cena.
Yeah, only briefly.
No, it wasn't A Train. Let me look. Oh no, because that's funny as hell. No, it wasn't John Bernard. Was when he was in New Japan. Sweet Tea, was that him? Sweet Tea.
Yeah, it could be.
And Sweet Tea. Oh my goodness, that is hilarious. You talking about some B squared?
All Buchanan, baby.
Nah, that's funny. B squared. You just took me back. Jesus Christ. That was funny. Okay, that was funny. That was a good call. That was.
You know who I miss? I miss Carlito. I felt like
they
and WWE really dropped the ball with.
They offered him a deal. Come back. He ain't want to come back.
Well, recently.
Yeah, this was like late last year. They offered him a deal.
Surprised.
He said no. I mean, because he doing good work where he is. Like he working with the WWC, the World Wrestling. I think it's like World Wrestling Council or something like that. Something I think it's in Puerto Rico.
Oh, the Puerto Rico.
Yeah, the World Wrestling Council. Yeah, he doing some stuff over there. He been working with them for a while. Like he was working with them before he even got started in WWE, and he just went back. So, I mean,
yeah, isn't that his
if
dad's
you're doing good elsewhere,
yeah,
yep. So, I mean, it's something like that. I think his dad was like a major guy right there. Yeah. That is, his dad does own the company, partial owner. So yeah, I mean, I'm like, what I really thought I thought he was gonna come back at the Rumble. That's what I thought was gonna happen. I think that would have been a nice pop, but I think it would have been stupid considering what they were doing with Brock. Like it was gonna be pointless. Like I feel like if you're gonna bring Carlito back, because I really think Carlito could be like a solid, like Intercontinental U.S. champion to this day.
Sweet Tea.
That's who it was.
It was after his Tensai gimmick, and he went from Lord Tensai to Tensai to Sweet Tea. Can you imagine going from Tensai to Sweet Tea?
That Tensai shit was stupid though. Like I didn't buy into that for a second.
He wasn't with John Cena though. He was with Brodus Clay.
No, I know, but like, oh wait, he was Sweet Tea with Brodus Clay.
Yeah, I'm sure I've seen a clip of Prince Albert as like with John Cena.
No, they work together a lot, but
as like a rap in his rap gimmick. Oh well, maybe I just imagined it, or maybe they did like when like.
See, look, that Goldberg win, taking the toll.
Just ruined me. All the timelines are like, it's like a Mandela effect. Because that 50-year-old in 2020, he's winning the title. It's like all the timelines are converging on the same. So I don't know who's who anymore.
Great conversation. Okay, man. It was good to talk about that.
It's always good.
Let us get to the Revolution,
bro. The good stuff. 45 minutes.
Yeah, I do too. So yeah, we good.
Which is it's a pretty good time.
This show was really good, really good top to bottom, man. Like
let's talk briefly about really it was awesome, mate. Awesome. Pre-show was nothing. It's just one match. The thing I really did like about it was after the match, the Dark Order. So the Dark Order wins the match. But I like that they kind of did it in a way where they were all trying to hit their finishers, but they didn't and they couldn't. And SCU told Christopher Daniels to stay behind because they're teasing like dissension, or they don't trust him, or they think he's going to join the Dark Order. The Dark Order won the match. Then after the match, they attacked SCU, and Colt Cabana runs in for the save because they're in Chicago and he's signed as well now. He briefly kind of has a brawl, but then he gets overrun. And then this music plays, and a hooded figure arrives.
They had me. I thought Christopher Daniels was the exalted, but I was like, oh hell, here we go. And then they did the swerve.
I thought the Fallen Angel. I thought he was coming back as the Fallen Angel.
That's
I was
what I thought.
loving it.
That'd have been cool though. Honestly, I wouldn't have minded that at all. I think that'd have been cool.
No, I would like that. I like the Fallen Angel gimmick as well.
But I think we all know who the Exalted One is, sir. He who shall not be named.
It's going to be Archer.
You think it's gonna be Lance Archer?
It's going to be Lance Archer. Yeah, bro.
I think it's gonna be Raven. I think that's cool. That's my prediction.
It's going to be the Fiend. Bray was asked for his breaking news.
The Fiend was exalted in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, Fiend dead.
Oh, Sam, I'm tell just know I'm gonna be teasing you about this for the remainder of the podcast. Elimination Chamber post pod, WrestleMania post pod, Double or Nothing post pod. I will find a way to get in a Fiend joke
forever. I might start doing previously on ACE Podcast Nation videos. People seem to like that.
You're gonna start putting the intro every time I say something about the Fiend. Do the closing intro.
I had a few comments, a couple of DMs about that video. They said, "Oh, that's really good. Did you make it?" I was like, "Who else fucking made it?"
No, that was a good edit, bro. I like that. That was good work, bro.
I made that this morning. It took me like 15 minutes. If that. Thought it was something different, innit?
Tech savvy, sir.
Technological wizard.
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you real quick, but not to get off too much on the tangent. But are you you think about going to take over Dublin, or you like considering?
Yeah, I think I don't know. I'd like to, but
is it far? It's not far, is it?
No, I could fly over there. It would take like a maximum of an hour to fly there. It's just because of my health. Like it's just the main reason. I'd have to organize it and stuff. But like if you said you were flying over for it, then I would go, like meet up with you, sort of thing. But
would it be easier for you to just go to like a takeover Cardiff? Like that would be more simpler for you.
Oh yeah, I could just drive there in 10 minutes.
Okay, cool.
This takeover Cardiff, but they better do another one. That's all I can say.
Real quick, you think they're gonna go Balor Walter at takeover Dublin? I think that's the smartest move.
Yeah, they got to.
Yeah, you gotta go Balor Walter. I feel bad for Jordan Devlin though. For real.
I would do Balor Walter, and I would do Jordan Devlin versus who did I think of the other day, which I thought would as a co-main event. I would do like a triple like co-main event.
Is Devlin the cruiserweight champion right now?
Yeah, so I was trying to think who it was. I thought of someone who would be really cool as like a cruiserweight championship match in the co-main event. Yeah,
like a name from NXT UK, or you mean like a name?
No,
from NXT?
It was someone from NXT.
Leo Rush.
I can't remember.
Or Cameron Grimes or somebody like that.
No, it's like someone who's not on TV at the moment, but someone to come back. I can't remember. It might come to me in a minute.
Okay.
And I'd also like to see them do. Is Kaylee Ray still the UK Women's Champ?
Yep. She actually just beat Toni Storm in the I Quit match, like on the.
Yeah, I'd like to see them do Kaylee Ray versus Tegan Knox. Take over Dublin as well.
That'd be cool.
I think that could be really good.
Where's Tegan? She's from Cardiff, right? Or she's from Wales?
Yeah, just outside. Yeah, She's not far from Cardiff.
Okay. Got that representation, man. Look at y'all in WWE.
You're all over, bro.
Shout out to Cardiff, man. Good people out there.
The best people. So the hooded figure comes down the aisle, and everyone's popping, and like to me, I knew that it was going to be some type of swerve only because it was on the pre-show.
Mm-hmm.
Like if this had been like later on in the main show, then I would have fallen for it a bit more. And also he still had like a tracksuit on as well. But he reveals himself, the hooded figure, and it's Christopher Daniels. And just for a second, everyone thinks, oh, he's the exalted one, but he's not. And he flies around the ring and he saves Sky, Kazarian, and Cabana.
I still think Christopher Daniels kind of suspect in this situation though, because like did you kind of feel like even though when he was in the ring celebrating, it was still like people were kind of like holding their breath a little bit. They was like, I don't really trust Christopher Daniels like that.
Yeah, There was a couple of little instances like that though throughout the show where it was like, are they going to turn? Are they going to turn? God, I hope they turn the Young Bucks. I want to see that.
What, heel Young Bucks?
Yeah, I think that'll be a really good swerve,
man.
because
like now that you bring that up, dude, the crowd they were against.
they did not like them. And do you know what though? Just very quickly before, because we'll talk about it in a minute. But if I was Adam Page, I'd be really pissed off, like, because Kenny Omega, like, they were going after Kenny Omega's shoulder. They did all the moves they did the Meltzer driver on the stage. Like, the Young Bucks took it like really like aggressively, and they tried to injure them both. So if I'm Adam Page and I'm looking up and seeing Kenny Omega accepting their apologies straight after the match, I'd be a bit pissed off as well. I'd be like, yo, what the fuck? Next up was Dustin Rhodes versus Jake Hager. This is what it is.
It went a little too long for me. It wasn't even bad, honestly. I didn't even think it was a bad match. It just went too long. Like, it should have been 10 minutes. It went 14. Should have been like 9 or 8 or 10.
Yeah, just like a 9-10 minute match would have been fine.
It went too long, man.
Because Hager was always going to win. I feel like they did a good job of separating his moveset from like his WWE run, which was the one thing they don't want to get like any "We the People" chants, any Jack Swagger chants, or anything like that, even if it's the fans trying to get him. Well, JR, I thought he would, right, fair play. I've been very critical of JR, but I actually thought he was very good on Revolution. I thought he was quite funny as well. He was quite snarky, and he had a couple of good lines. He's still not the greatest, and I think I'd still rather have Tony Schiavone, Taz, and Excalibur as the three, but it was one of his better goals. There was not a great deal to this match, but it was good. You know, they made Hager look like a monster. They gave Dustin Rhodes a couple of hope spots, but nothing too what's the word? Nothing too monumental. You know, it was nothing crazy, no real crazy spots, no anything like that.
It wasn't a bad match. I don't think it was a bad match at all. I don't think it was a bad match at all. I think it just went a little long. Tell Hager to return the Lucha Underground Championship. That damn thief. Tell him to give it back.
Who's his wife?
I have no clue.
Is she anyone famous? Oh, okay.
I
wasn't sure if she was. I wasn't sure if I was supposed to know who she was, because they featured her like before the match and stuff, but I didn't know who she was. So there we go. But yeah, it was good. Good. They built up Jake Hager. I think they did a great job by that being his first match as well. Like they made you wait for it. Because I feel like if they'd done that 3 months ago, he would have got the Jack Swagger and the "We the People" chants, that sort of thing. Do you see what I mean? But because they made it wait for so long, it kind of like meant that they didn't get that stuff.
Yeah, actually, Chris Jericho, he had said during I think he did an interview with Sports Illustrated, and he actually said that he wanted like this kind of slow burn, like he didn't want him, out the gate talking. He had a solid match. It wasn't bad. I didn't think it was a bad match. I just think it went a little too long. Should have been a quick 9 minutes, 8 minutes, and I think it was. Honestly, I think the AEW Women's World Title should have opened the show because they deserved a high crowd. Like they got a real bad spot, but we gonna get to that later.
Yeah, I think what they should have done in terms of like the way the matches went as well is if they'd opened did the Dark Order on the pre-show, opened then with the women's match, got into Dustin versus Jake Hager, and then done it in the same order, I think it would have maybe just flowed a little bit better. Because what they did do is they built up each match progressively through the show very well. So yeah, the next match was Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin.
Man, let me just say this real quick. Darby Allin is over.
Oh,
Jesus. He is over, man.
Best suicide dives in the business.
That's a
Because
fact.
everybody does suicide dives, but he just gets like an extra bit of.
I just think it's different because he doesn't go hands first. He throws his entire body into the person, so it looks cooler.
Yeah.
And he gets more force.
He does get his feet caught in the ropes a lot when he's doing them, though. And I just hope that he doesn't do it one of these days and like really hurt himself.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna challenge you real quick. You wanna know who has a better suicide dive than Darby Allin?
Go on.
Ray Phoenix, because Ray Phoenix does the flip through the middle rope.
Yeah. That's quite impressive. I'll give you that.
I don't
That's
know.
That's not technically a suicide dive, though, is it?
Is it? I mean, like, he's like,
flip.
but he like flips like mid air. Like he goes through the rope and then he flips. It's I don't know what the hell that is, but it's crazy.
Crazy shit. Yeah, before the match, I thought it was a good touch to have like they brawl and then Guevara throws Darby Allin's skateboard to him and he brings out a table and he sets it up outside and Sammy Guevara hits a fucking top rope 630 senton.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Through the table to the outside of the ring, which I thought was flicking insane. And then the match officially begins. It wasn't a particularly long match once it got started, when it didn't need to be. I also believe Guevara's got an injury. I think he's got an ankle injury, so maybe that played into like the way they did it with the. Although, if I had an ankle injury, I'm not sure I'd be doing a 630 to the outside through a table. But that's just me. It was pretty good though. It's exciting. Like you say, Darby Allin is over. Sammy Guevara, I think, is doing a really underrated job as the kind of pretty boy of the young pretty boy of the inner circle. I feel like he's doing a real good job of that.
Yeah, honestly, for real, like I think Sammy Guevara is a better heel than MJF. To be honest with you, I feel like Sammy Guevara is like a naturally like
cocky prick.
He like I think MJF is good, but he just tries a little too hard for me. That I can't relate.
Well,
like I feel like Sammy Guevara is like more of that naturally unlikable heel. But maybe that's because he's surrounded by Jericho and Hager and Santana Ortiz, and it fits well.
He's got people to bounce off as well, hasn't he?
Yeah.
I think it's easier to be natural if you've got people to bounce off, because you can bounce your personality and your one-liners and your little jokes off people, like subtle things. Whereas if it's just MJF and Wardlow, like Wardlow doesn't speak, so it's difficult for him to bounce stuff off him. But I know what you mean, and I don't know if I'd say he's a better heel, but I certainly think sometimes he becomes he seems more natural as a heel because he's like just comes across as like a bit cocky and a bit arrogant. Whereas like you say, MJF sometimes can feel like he's trying a bit hard. The match, Darby Allin eventually wins the match with the coffin drop. I gotta say, as impressive as the move looks, I'm not a massive fan of the coffin drop. I gotta say, maybe that's a bad take. I don't know.
No, it's not. I mean, you like what you like, and you like what you don't like.
It just seems dumb. Like it doesn't make any sense to me. But
you want to know? I would really like to see somebody do like a backstabber out of that. Like he going for the coffin drop. I think that'd be like the coolest transition. Or he gets super kicked in the back of the head. Like that'd be nice.
Yeah. Like the visual of it, like a double super kick to the back of the head.
That'd be so cool.
His weight goes like forward.
Yep.
Could be really good. Like,
or imagine Omega giving him the V trigger out of that.
Yeah, that'd be good. Next up is the AEW Tag Team Championship match.
Oh boy.
Granddaddy Meltzer said is the best tag team match of all time.
Yeah,
I would say all sorts of debates and
I wouldn't say that. That's a stress. Wait, can we get into this real quick? I know we got.
Yeah, go on.
So it was like this is the thing with me. Like I've seen so many good matches, and you have too, because you've been alive longer than me, and you've been a wrestling
Yes,
fan.
I have.
So that was funny. I'm gonna give you your props on that. That was funny. So what's the name? What I was about to say? Yeah. So like we've seen so many good matches, dude. Like it like don't you feel like sometimes like it's kind of difficult sometimes to even get like super into great matches because we've seen so many great matches. Like it's like we've seen this before, but like I feel like this tag match it kind of started off sort of not slow, but it started off like
took
great
5-10 minutes to get going.
And when it got going, it got going. But I would say it's the best tag team match. That's a stretch. Like I would say the top 2 tag matches that I've ever seen is DIY versus the Revival at Takeover Toronto, and Kota Ibushi and Omega versus the Bucks at Strong Style Evolved. I think those are the 2 best tag team matches I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and I don't like,
but better in my opinion. But also, I thought this was excellent. I thought it was a great story. The only thing I thought it missed, I think I felt like the story was perfectly set up for the Young Bucks to turn heel after the match. I thought it was perfect.
Do you think they should have won?
I think the way the story was told throughout the whole the match, the way it gradually they got more and more heelish as the match went on. When Adam Page had his back to the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega, someone said they thought that they looked like they were going to do a triple super kick on him. But I felt like at that point, when he had his back to them and he went to kind of get out the ring, that they should have, when he turned around, that the Young Bucks should have super kicked him. And then
you're talking about post match, right?
Yeah, sorry. Okay. And then you either go with the storyline that Omega doesn't know what to do, but they don't attack Omega, which obviously causes dissension between Page and Omega, or you do the Bucks like attack Omega as well. But I just felt like there was a good story to be told, maybe if the Bucks super kicked Adam Page because it made sense after the match, but then didn't attack Kenny Omega. I felt like that would have made sense.
I think it would have been better if they would attack Omega and they just like when you saw the way they were like lining up, it sort of looked like they were probably about to super kick Omega. That's what I thought. I think it would have been better if they would have did that to Omega because it would have put Page in an interesting situation because Page don't really give a shit about Kenny anyway from what it looked like. I think it would have been like, y'all just kicked him, so like, what did you think I was supposed to come in there and help? Like, I'm out. Like, I got my title, so I'm out. Like, I think that would have been a real interesting situation. Then it would have caused beef between Hangman and Kenny. Like, I think that would have been a real nice thing. But I mean, we probably still might get that. And then not to gloss over this, just to mention, we got Blood and Guts coming up in a couple weeks. The War Games match, and I think it's gonna be Omega, the Bucks, and Cody versus MJF, Jericho, and Santana and Ortiz. And I think that's gonna be the War Games match. It's interesting though, man. Like I kind of like that they took the Vince McMahon thing, the Blood and Guts thing, and turned it into a show. I like
they've always done that though, haven't they?
I like it. That's cool.
The Elite have just always used things which WWE officials say or use to criticize them with.
I'm waiting
like
on a pissant show.
killing the business and pissant company and all these different things. They always use them to make t-shirts or shows. So like in the past they used them to make t-shirts, whereas now they use them they're on a bigger stage, so they can use them to make shows. It's clever. I have to say the subtlety of Adam Page in this whole angle is incredible.
Oh my goodness,
but that subtlety of the turn
when he looked like he's about to do the buckshot Larry, I was like, oh, that was so good. That was so good. Oh my goodness,
that was
great.
One of the best teases I've ever seen, because
for sure, 100%.
He did it in such a way where he could legitimately just say, "No, I just put my belt down. I was holding onto the ropes to contemplate whether to get back in or go out. But you knew what he was doing, and the commentators picked up on it, and it was like,
because you heard what he said. He was like, I was just about to open the ropes for you so you get out, and it kind of made sense in a way. It was like, you know what, let me open the ropes for my tag partner. But like you said, I completely agree. That was legit one of the best teases. Like when he first put the belt down, I was like, oh hell, here we go. He about to do it. And then what I thought was gonna happen was he was gonna miss and then hit the Bucks and then say, that was the plan the whole time.
Yeah.
Like,
or just do it, but go like shoot past Kenny, so you think he's gonna hit Kenny.
Oh, that would have been nice.
Because that would have been a really good thing, and like tease as well, because
you
going right next to them and hit the Young Bucks instead.
That's what I was about to say. You mean like him flying in and then like just changing direction and then hitting the Bucks like that? Okay, yeah, that'd have been cool. But the day they turn him heel, that crowd gonna go crazy. They gonna go.
But then that's what I do wonder, whether they might do a swerve and turn the Young Bucks, because he's getting so over as this top baby face.
Who, Hangman?
Yeah, I just wonder whether they might keep him as a baby face.
Is he a baby face though? Like, he is. It's kind of it's a weird dynamic.
When you consider why he is annoyed with the Young Bucks, he is the baby face. He told them, I still like you guys. We're still friends, but I want to leave the Elite, and they've just not let him.
And then they called him a jobber in Ring of Honor. So
yeah, and they called him a jobber in Ring of Honor and all this different stuff.
Yeah, you're right. The young Bucks are sort of the heels in this situation, but
what's he done? What has he done to make him a heel? If you think about it.
Yeah, you got a good point. But
I tell you, he did one thing. He went around all the tag teams telling them on being the Elite that like how to beat Nick and Matt, like they saying Matt's got a bad back and all that stuff. But that wasn't on TV. So
one thing that I really enjoyed was when like when they were doing the sit down stuff and like it kind of brought out that heelish side of the Bucks when they were like, we brought you in the Bullet Club and we made sure that you were good in Ring of Honor, because it's true. Like, that's true.
Yeah,
and bragging about it. Like, if they didn't bring Hangman into the Bullet Club, who knows, Hangman probably still be in Ring of Honor right now.
Yeah. And the thing is, the Bucks have been heels. They were heels for the majority of their career before they went into Bullet Club, basically. And they can play cocky heels better, as good as anyone. And I just think it's a good option. We're running a little low on time, so I'm not going to go through like the whole match, but it was an exceptional match. I liked the spot where Matt did like the multiple Northern Lights suplex on Page on the ramp, and then they hit the Indie Taker on the ramp. Then Matt Jackson, they hit the Golden Trigger on Omega, which I thought was a nice touch. Then Matt starts stomping on Omega's bad shoulder and rips off the kinesio tape and going full heels by that point. But then Nick kind of calms him down a bit, doesn't he? Oh, another nice touch was when they hit the V-trigger buckshot lariat combo. Matt kicks out at 2. Then Omega goes for the one-winged angel, but he can't because Matt's hurt his shoulder. And he super kicks Omega, and then Page tags in, and he hits the one-winged angel. And I thought, no, don't have it. Don't have them kick out of it just because it's not Kenny Omega. And Nick breaks it up before the pin. I appreciated that because I didn't want them to kick out of the one-winged angel, even though it was Hangman doing the move, not Omega.
Yeah, I agree. That this is a really, 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 really enjoyable match. I enjoyed it from top to bottom. Like,
great storytelling.
Yeah.
And anyone, sorry to interrupt you again, my friend. Anyone who says the Young Bucks can't work, or they've got no psychology, or they don't know how to tell stories, then they're just being assholes for fun. Like, they're just doing it because they don't like the Young Bucks, because Matt Jackson's been selling his back for 3 years. they built this story throughout like a half 30 plus minutes and they gradually built it from like a slow start all the way up to a crescendo at the end. The crowd loved it. The psychology was sound. There was nothing in, like, sometimes in Young Bucks matches, there's like certain things where I think, oh, come on, that's like a bit stupid. Why would you do that? Or why would you do this? But there was nothing like that in this match, really. I thought it was excellent. Sorry, mate.
No, you good. I agree with what you were saying.
It's because I'm always right. For sure.
That's a lie.
I was right about the Fiend and Goldberg. You were there saying the Fiend will never lose to the Goldberg, and I was like, dude, Goldberg's gonna win. You didn't listen to me though. Didn't listen to me, bro. Next up was the AEW Women's Championship.
Bad
This, in my opinion, was the worst match.
They had a bad spot. It should have went on first.
It wasn't a good match either. I don't think. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good either.
I mean, it was some points where they got the crowd back in it just a little bit, but I feel like it was just majority because of the you know what I'm saying? It was just the spat where I think I see it should have been Big Swole versus Nyla Rose. That's what it should have been, but yeah, Statlander.
Chris Statlander's very inexperienced, isn't she? And
I mean, she can go, but I just think Nyla Rose works better when she's working with smaller athletes. Like, I think that's her wheelhouse. Shit, it wasn't no build behind this anyway. Shit, I'd have just ran it back with Rio. Honestly.
Yeah, there's just something with the women's division. I just don't know. It's not quite clicking.
Yeah.
Like Britt Baker's doing really well as a heel, but there's just something's not quite clicking, both in the ring and also the storytelling. It has got a bit better over the last couple of weeks, so I'd say that much. But something's just not quite clicking for me personally. But I also think that there's plenty of girls that they've got signed who, you know, there's room for a lot of improvement. They've got some really good workers there, and I think that they can progress. Nyla Rose hits a big boot to Statlander's jaw, and the two women go to the top rope. Statlander goes for Hurricane Rana, but Nyla Rose blocked it, and she hit a top rope powerbomb for the win. Anything in particular stand out to you for this match, mate? Just other than it was in the death slot. No,
not really. It wasn't really like a standout match, other than, you know, the fact that they were just a bad spot, and it didn't go smooth. So, you know, hopefully, you know, they on the road to Double or Nothing, they can, you know, put together some good stuff. Honestly, I think the way to go is you do probably what I think is going to happen is I think they probably going to do a 3-way, probably Britt Baker, Big Swole, and Nyla Rose, and I think that's going to be the direction going forward. But it's going to be interesting, and then it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Rio as well. So, I mean, I feel like they just need to create more storylines outside of the women's title scene. I mean, you got one going with Britt Baker, and that's going well. And I just think they need to do more storylines between different characters. Like Britt Baker is essentially feuding with Tony Schiavone. So, unless Big Tone about to get in the ring, then, you know, you know,
it's
I don't really see why it needs to keep.
They've got some good workers though, and who they don't use. And I just think maybe they need to. One thing I think they should have done is, like they've said in interviews, that they've got everything planned out for quite a while in advance, is because they don't do pay-per-views each month, they need to find a way to get these women's matches, get them practicing and get them rehearsing, particularly for some of the ones who have, you know, have only got a couple of years experience of wrestling. Use that extra time you've got between pay-per-views to rehearse the match or to lay out the spots to make sure it goes smoothly during, you know, during the pay-per-views. use that time that you use the extra time that you've got to really kind of get it down. Because I feel like sometimes in some of the women's matches on the pay-per-views, they've been a bit disjointed sometimes. Maybe they're not on the same page when they're going. Okay, next up, Cody versus MJF.
The match,
Don't know if this is a hot.
the match didn't hit
Go on.
like I thought it was going to hit. It was, I don't know. I wasn't like really like I was interested in the story, but I wasn't interested in the match. It was like the build was so good. Like this was a great build, but like the match didn't hit. Like it didn't hit for me until
Yeah, I was.
maybe like the end when Arn Anderson got involved and stuff like that. I was like, okay, now I'm getting into it. But like for the majority of it, it wasn't. I don't know what. And for real, I think it was the band that took me out because that band sucked. Like they like I feel like it would have been better if they just hit Cody's regular theme because the pop wasn't the
Yeah.
same. Like that usual Cody pop that he get, like it wasn't the same. Now, but down straight doesn't suck. I'm not gonna say they don't suck, but that performance was not. It was not up to par.
Good. Yeah, it wasn't a good performance. Yeah, I gotta say, I was looking forward to this match. I was expecting an emotional masterclass like
Yeah.
the Rhodes versus Rhodes match from last year, and we didn't get that. It was okay. Just very quickly, I'd like to get your thoughts on Cody's neck tattoo and what you
Yeah.
think of that.
It's not something I would have did, but I mean at the same time, hey, that's a grown ass man, bro. He gonna do what he want, and I don't care.
Yeah,
I mean, but not. I that's not something I would have did, but you know, I mean, I guess it symbolizes
weird.
that he's going like he banking on this company. Like he can't hide no damn neck tattoo for the most part. So he believe in AEW and he ain't afraid to show it. So that's his thing. That's not something I would have did, but hey, like I said, that's a grown man. He gonna do what he want. Ain't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah, it's a weird one. So I thought this match was a little bit overbooked for me with some of the Brandy stuff and Wardlow, and there was all sorts of interference. The ending was a bit weird. Cody is the weight belt and he hits MJF with it. Cody pleads with the referee for one more hit with the belt, and the ref lets him, which that's a bit of a disconnect for me. Because if you like a sports kind of thing, then the referees are supposed to be like completely impartial. But
Right.
all right, whatever. I can kind of get past it, I suppose. MJF kind of crawls over to Cody's feet and he's hugging him, and he's like apologized, please, begging and pleading, and then he spits in his face, which I thought was like that fits his character perfectly. That he'd be like a sniveling, saying sorry, don't hurt me, and then spits in his face. Is perfect. Cody hits the crossroad, but instead of pinning him, he hits him with another one. He goes for the third one, but MJF counters it by hitting him with the diamond ring, and then he drops it into his trunks, and he gets the 3 count. What do you think of the finish, mate? Like specifically the diamond ring coming back into it, because like that's long-term storytelling, really.
It is those little subtleties that he essentially, I guess, awarded. When not awarded, MJF won it, but like that, it was like a thing between them. I guess like it was good. I like the finish of the match. I'm starting to really get interested in Wardlow. Like I don't know why. I find his character interesting, and he's solid. So and that match was Cody. He did real well in that match with Cody. So I'm interested to see, what they do with Wardlow going forward. As far as MJF goes, I think he needed to win this match. I think it was the right move had to have him win. I don't think Cody had anything to gain from beating MJF. And
Yeah, it would have just taken the steam out of MJF, really, wouldn't it?
And
It
now
would have done more damage than good.
I probably think that MJF is like he probably gonna end up probably challenging Moxley. I could see that like on the episode of Dynamite, like in a few weeks, later. I could see MJF challenging Mox. So it's gonna be cool. The match, the Cody MJF match didn't really hit how I expected it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be like you said, like one of those super emotional masterclass match. But it wasn't like bad. It didn't hit how people. It just didn't meet expectations. I would just say that. But the right man won. MJF got the dub, and I'm interested to see what they do with Cody going forward, or what Cody does with Cody going forward. Actually,
Yeah, for sure. It'd be interesting to see what they do with Cody. Next up was Pac versus Orange Cassidy.
best
I
match of the
liked
night,
it.
sir. Best match of the night, sir.
I said about that, but I liked it. And I like that for people who are not familiar with Orange Cassidy's gimmick, where he kind of doesn't care and he's like whatever, and then like right at that kind of last minute when he gets really angry or he really annoyed, he goes and does like he can work and he's really good. And I'm glad that people got to see that. And that's basically it. I saw some people moaning that they had Pac do the soft leg kicks at the start, but I was like, yeah, but he didn't, did he? He did it, and then he's like shoves him to the floor and then just dominates him until he gets his comeback.
One of the funniest parts, man, was when Orange Cassidy came out and he had the lazy pyro. That was hilarious. Like the pyro, it like shot up just a little bit, and then the other half came up and it shot up a little bit, and then he had the little like the mini steam in the back. Like it was hilarious, bro.
Yeah, that was superb.
When I say the best match, I don't think it was the best technical match. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying it was the most enjoyable match for me. Like
yeah,
that
for sure.
That was funny as hell, and it wasn't just like it was really good. Like I'm telling you, but they hit gold with Orange Cassidy, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, big time. I tell you what,
man.
So Pac wins with the brutalizer, and I tell you what, because the Lucha Brothers arrive and attack the best friends, and he gets distracted. That brutalizer looked brutal.
Because he cranked back
right up under his, yeah, man, looked nasty shit.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'm flying through a bit now, mate. Sorry, but yeah, that's it's what it. My page is not loading.
Oh, we got Moxley versus Jericho.
It's the main event now, anyway. Wasn't it? Yep. Yeah, Moxley versus Jericho to finish us off.
Shout out to Chris Jericho for bringing in Meredith Bell to sing the intro and the choir that she sings for a shot. Let me say this about Chris Jericho. He is very self-aware, very self-individual when it comes to social media. Meredith Bell, she's like she comes to a lot of local shows here in DC, and she does a lot of like local, like she does like ring announcing and stuff like that. Real cool lady. I had a chance to meet her one time at a local show. Like probably one of the nicest people you'll ever meet. Real chill. And she just randomly like decided she wanted to just do like one of those videos like when they got like your face in like different parts of the camera, like you all like singing a song and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And Jericho saw it, and then he reached out to her and was like, "Hey, you want to come do the song at Revolution?" And she actually did a real cool thing. She said, "You know what? How about I bring some friends of mine and we all do it?" And she brought her friend. She brought some people that she knew along. And yeah, big shout out to Jericho. That's one thing I'm telling you. That's why Chris Jericho is going to continue to be relevant, because he is very self-aware of social media. He knows, and like look how much buzz they got, man. Like, there's a lot of people know Meredith. A lot of people, like if you like into the independent scene somewhat, like on the East Coast here in like in the US, you probably know who Meredith is. Like it's cool to see, man. It's just cool to see like a black woman on that stage, getting that shine. That was real cool. And then like it fit with the entrance. Like they sung the acapella version, and then they hit the regular Judas. Like it was great. That was great.
Yeah, it was real good. Really good entrance. And it made Cody's entrance look even worse, I gotta say.
You took it over.
Oh my God, that shit was... In terms of the match, I thought the match was very good. Obviously, you knew you were going to get like interruptions and stuff like that. At some point, the ref Aubrey chucks out Santana and Ortiz.
Let me ask you this real quick. So like I know we running low on time. So just real quick. So did you think that they should have waited till Double or Nothing to do the switch, or you think it was just now like they should have just got it out the way now?
I thought they should have, but I kind of knew they weren't gonna because he's going on tour. I believe. I'm sure I read somewhere, or I read like in the days on Twitter.
He is going on tour, but it's no Wednesday dates. But I mean,
yeah, I
tour.
suppose. So yeah, I would have liked to have seen him wait,
but I thought they were gonna bring it full circle. When he debuted, and then hometown, and now his hometown, but where he resides and stuff like that.
I thought there was no rush to get the title off him. Let's say that much.
Yeah.
And I thought they was still. I mean, the only problem is, I suppose, between now and Double or Nothing, there's a couple of months, isn't there? So it's like dragging the program out for another couple of months, maybe.
2 months.
Yeah, then it's like a 5-month program, though, isn't it? When did this program start? 2 months, 3 months ago?
Well, you mean Jericho and Mox?
Yeah.
It started right after Full Gear.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought they were going to put it on Moxley, but I was hoping that they weren't going to. If that makes sense.
Did you see that Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, like the picture of Moxley with the AEW World Title?
I didn't know, but
yeah,
they're untouchable anyway, aren't they?
He liked the picture. They both like the picture of Mox with the AEW World Title. Like I think it just goes to show you that some people like really be creating beef that don't exist. Like
yeah,
I think
that's it.
They're still really good friends, obviously.
Yeah.
So I mean, and good for Mox, man. Like last year, what was last year? He was about to feud with Nia Jax this time of year. Now look at him, AEW World Champion. Hey, you bet on yourself, man. Good things will happen. So shout out to Mox, man. That's a good guy.
Yeah, so the Santana, Ortiz, and Hager get thrown out of the match, but as that's happening, Guevara arrives out of nowhere and hits Moxley with the championship belt. Jericho and Moxley are down, but Jericho crawls over for the pin. Moxley kicks out. Moxley takes Jericho's punches and forearm strikes and gets back up, and with an exchange of blows to follow, Jericho gouges Moxley's left eye, and now Jericho's taunting him, saying he's blind and this, and then Jericho misses the Judas effect. Moxley takes off his eye patch, hits the paradigm shift, and pins Jericho for the win. What I really appreciated is that they didn't have Moxley kick out of the Judas effect. I really like that because they protected that move, and he has protected that move. He's made it like a devastating knockout finisher, and I don't want to see anyone kick out of that.
Yeah, I agree.
And yeah, he's the Moxley new AEW World Champion, which obviously opens him up to a few fresh storylines with a babyface as a champ.
Run that thing back with Darby Allin.
Yeah, and the thing is with Moxley is because of his character, you can do a heel or a babyface versus him. Like it doesn't have to be
Moxley's
like
twin.
Yeah. Whereas with Jericho, it kind of had to be like baby faces generally challenging him. Whereas with Moxley, it can be literally anyone. Anyone can get it done. And yeah, overall, what would you give this show out of 10?
Out of 10, I'm gonna give it a 9. 8.9, 8.8, or a solid 9 out of 10. It was a good show. I really liked it, top to bottom. And especially that tag title match, that was excellent. The final stretch of that match was chef's kiss. That was great, and I really enjoyed Orange Cassidy versus Pac. That was really good too. And it was good seeing Moxley get his moment. And I really like how they did what you normally does when New Japan does when they give the champion the mic after the match.
That was good.
I think that's real special. Like even though that is like a New Japan thing, and that's like a but I think, but from what I know other promotions do that as well, but I think majority of what I've seen that is New Japan, just for me. But it's cool. It's cool to see, man, like the champion, get the mic after the match, and then it give you time to soak it in a little bit, They just won the title, and then it's cool to see, man. You can tell Moxley did it off the cuff because he said the F word. Yeah. So
yeah, he dropped an F-bomb. But yeah, it was good. I enjoyed it. I think I'd give it an 8.75 or a 9.
Yeah, around that. Yeah.
And I thought the tag team match was outstanding. Andrew, tell the people what you got going on this week.
So I'm dropping an interview tomorrow, which will be March 3rd, Tuesday, on my YouTube channel. And then I'm doing an interview right after this interview with the side guy. And I'm gonna be catch the post wrestling news updates filled with information, sir. Some of my best work, I believe. Some nice stuff in those news updates. I'm gonna be doing that all weekend. My mom's birthday is on Thursday, so it's gonna be real.
Happy birthday, Mrs. Thompson.
Appreciate it, man. It's gonna be a good week. Gonna be a good week.
Indeed. Guys, you can follow Andrew, as you can see on screen, at AD Thompson __ for those who are listening. You can follow me at ACEcast _Nation. Check out Andrew's YouTube, which is Andrew Thompson Interviews, and check us out, ACE Podcast Nation, for all the latest shows. Andrew, it's been a pleasure. You can piss off with that music right now. You're a bad man.